Welcome to World of Braiding. How are you doing today? We're hoping you're doing good, feeling okay. Now today we're going to do something different from what we normally do. We're going to take you through the theory of hair braiding. Why are we doing this? Because we've had lots of inquiries, people asking us, I want to go into the business of hair braiding. I want to go into natural hair salon. How do I get started? What do I need to know? And lots of questions like that. So we decided, okay, we're going to talk you through some basic things you need to know. That's why I've got this flip chart behind me. So today we're dealing with the theory of hair braiding and natural hair salons. I'm going to give you background information that gets you started and some of the things that I think you need to know before you go into the business. Now, this is one thing I never encourage. Don't go touching people's hair if you do not understand hair. And this is what we offer here in World of Braiding. We want you to understand what you're dealing with. It is a career and it will make you lots of money if you understand what you're doing. And you will not be one of those stylists who are causing a lot of damage. Now, it's been proven that black hair, women of color, have the highest rate of traction alopecia. Why is that happening? Because people are dealing with hair without understanding what they're dealing with. Now, what some people say to me is, would you go to a doctor who's not trained? That's what's happening in our industry. People are going into hair without having any knowledge of what hair is, and they're telling you they know what they're doing. We aim to make sure that everyone knows what hair is before they start touching it. And that's why I'm going to take you through this background information. And with this, you can start to understand what we're talking about and start getting that curiosity to start making yourself wonder, what am I really doing? And then maybe you're going to ask yourself some more questions and decide to do a bit more research about this particular topic, hair. Okay, so we're starting now. Background information. What is hair braiding? Have you asked yourself that before? It is basically the interweaving of strands of hair. And when we say interweaving, you're taking 3 strands of hair, 2 strands of hair, and you're taking them through each other. That's what it is. And that's why we are able to train you to be able to braid all hair types. Because for anything that has got hair, you can interweave the strands. Interweaving of strands of hair to form a rope that becomes single plaits. Interweaving of strands of hair on a track, and we say predetermined. Predetermined means you can create that track. Once you can create it, you can work with it. So that becomes what we call cornrows. And I get people asking me all the time, are you going to teach me how to create designs of cornrow? Why should I teach you that? Because it's already in your head. All you need to do is look in a magazine and you will see what somebody's done before and imitate it. But if you know how to handle your comb and create a track, you can do different designs and loads of designs. We aim to make you independent. We don't want you to be dependent on anyone once you know what you're doing. Intertwining, meaning you're just wrapping strands of hair along each other. That is what we call twisting. So these 3 are what makes up the hair braiding. So interweaving of strands of hair to form a rope, that's single plaits. Interweaving of strands of hair on a track, that's cornrows. And intertwining of strands of hair is what we call twisting. So now that you know what hair braiding is, what are braids used for? Why would anyone come to you and say to you, I want my hair braided? Have you ever asked yourself that? We want you to know what braids are used for. It's usually to tidy away the hair. And if you know that this person's hair is all over the place, especially for children, you want to be able to groom this hair, take it all together, bring them into a form that looks nice. That's what tidying is. And once you understand tidying, it becomes grooming. That's where people say, I want to groom. She is so well groomed. They're saying she organizes herself well. So if you can tie the hair, you have been able to groom this person. And then this is what hairdressing does, and that's what barbering does. That is the same thing that hair braiding does. You can groom somebody to look so nice. What is the ultimate effect of that? You create beauty. So you're tidying away hair, you're grooming this person up, and you're creating beauty. That's what you're doing. So if you're into hair braiding and you didn't know why you were doing it, this is why you're doing it, to create beauty ultimately. But in the meantime, you're grooming this person and tidying them up. Question then becomes, who then wears braids? Who will come to you and say, I want to wear braids? Luckily for us, everyone wears braids. Everyone with hair. Irrespective of their age, their gender, their race, meaning their ethnic background, meaning their sex. They could be male, they could be female. It could be 30, 100, 20, 5, 6 months. I've been asked what's the youngest age. You can tidy away a 6-month-old baby's hair. Braiding does not hurt hair in any form. Take it from me, I'm telling you because I know. Including animals with hair. It can be braided. So anything with hair can be braided. And that's what we're talking about, the tidying away. So once you know all that, then the next question is, we've basically touched a bit about the single plants. I'm not going to go into details of single plants at the moment. But next question is, if somebody comes to you and says to you, I want my hair braided, what would you be looking out for to get started? That's starting braiding. So you only work on a clean head of hair. That hair has to be shampooed, has to be conditioned for you to be able to work on it. Never work on dirty hair. Rule number 1. Why? Because if this person's hair is dirty and you start tidying away, interweaving those strands, they get into a form of a rope. What happens? The hair starts getting very itchy, and that's when they want to wash their hair immediately. That's when they mess up the work you've done. So the hair has to be clean so that they're not immediately wanting to get their hair washed. Now you need to check the hair to see if there's anything on this person's head. Is the hair clean? The skin, the hair scalp. Is the scalp healthy? What are the things on this person's head? Make sure you look at every head before you start braiding. What are some of the things we're looking for? We're looking out to see if that person's got headlights. I don't know if you've known about headlights, but they're like some tiny little ants-like thing that stick on every strand of hair. And then there's knit, which is the egg. So you don't want any of that. Why? Because if you start working on that, they're very, 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 they will flow into anybody's hair anytime. They're contagious. So you don't want that. So make sure if you notice anything that's unusual happening on this person's head, you immediately stop. And then tell them about it, but be please very discreet. Don't stand in the open hall and say, oh, you've got headlights. No, you want to tell them. Take them to a corner and say, you know, when I was trying to do your hair, I noticed there's something on your head. Please, could you go see the doctor? Be very discreet. Ringworm. Ringworm is like a circle, but it looks a bit whitish. Look out for that. If you notice that, you again bring it to their attention. They probably don't know they have it. Traction alopecia, we talked about that. That's the biggest problem we have, especially on black hair. Meaning the hairline is receding, and we have seen so much recently. So many things are responsible. If you keep watching, you're going to start hearing what I'll be telling you what's causing this traction alopecia. And I've heard lots of stories. Either they put chemical relaxers in the hair is completely damaged, then they've gone braiding that hair. Now that's double jeopardy for this hair strand. You have put chemicals, so you basically damage the structure of the hair, and then you've gone to pull the hair again from the roots, which is the follicles. So two things are happening to this hair strand, and that's what leads to traction alopecia, which is one of them. So you have to look out for that, because if you look out for that, you can tell what's happened. And there are some hairstyles that you should not even try when somebody's got traction alopecia. So it's important you know that. Has this person got patchy scalp? In between, there are places where there are no hairs. So many things could have caused that. Maybe the way they take out the braids, maybe the way they take out the extensions, maybe the relaxer when they were putting it in did not sit well, or made some part get quickly relaxed and the other parts not relaxed. So many things could be responsible for patchy scalp. Bring it to their attention. Excessive hair breakage, this hair is really dry, they haven't put moisturizer in it, and so it's really dry, and the minute you touch it, it's breaking. Bring it to their attention. And there's so many more things you're going to be coming across. It's important you know these things, because if you don't, they're going to blame you when their hair starts getting damaged, and they'll say it's your fault. Okay? So we've talked about the headlights. Make sure they see the doctor. Now, before you get started on the hair, make sure you check what is going on. Depending on the hair type, provide necessary materials for you to get started. Afro hair, virgin hair, you must put moisturizers in them before you can braid them. Afro hair that's chemically relaxed, do not put anything in it. And European hair, make sure you're having water. Why do we need water? It gives you good grip. Don't put anything else. Some people use spritz, and that contains alcohol. Some people use like gel that is too heavy for the hair. Don't use any of those, just use water. And then if it's for single plus, you always start from the nape. So I'm going to quickly hop into you understanding what cornrows are. Now I'm going to talk about cornrows because it's the most versatile of all the braiding techniques. Just a quick talk about this. Make sure you understand the hair type you're working with, and cornrows is one of the best styles for every hair type. It doesn't matter what hair type, everybody will love a basic cornrow. It takes less time. You can do it on children, you can do it on men, and you can do it on women. How versatile is that? You can do it on everyone. Now, you probably want to know, how long does it take to do cornrows? Again, it takes between 30 minutes to 5 hours, depending on what you're doing. Some of the things you're looking for is the style you're going to create, the length of the hair that you're working with, the density of the hair, the creativity you're putting in. So all of these things are very important to consider them before you decide on what you want to do with your cornrows. Now, some people will say, how do I maintain my cornrow once I've done it? Make sure you cover it at night, and we insist on silk and satin scarf. Never use cotton scarf because they take out the oil. Again, we insist you put braid shins in them. What does this do? It helps to moisturize the scalp so that the scalp is not getting dry and getting dirty. How long would I be wearing my cornrow once I've done it? Again, it depends on how good you are with your maintenance. So I would recommend between 2 to 4 weeks. We're again talking about the hair type we're dealing with. It could be Caucasian hair type, which doesn't stay in too long, or it could be Afro hair type, which again can go very frizzy if it's not properly maintained. So lots of things help to keep it healthy for a period, or if you're not good at it, they go a bit messy too quickly. So these are some of the health and safety issues we recommend. Never pull the hair too tight, because if you do, what do we talk about? Traction alopecia, that's what causes it. You're pulling the hair too quick. So make sure when you're taking out the hair, you're taking your time to take them out. Do not start forcing that hair out. Some people, because they want it for a period, they're thinking, oh no, I'm in a hurry, I want to get this hair out. And then they start cutting their hair. Don't do that. Take your time to take it out, or just go to a professional person who did your hair before and say, could you take it out for me? That way your hair is safe. Always remember to brush it out properly before you start shampooing, because if you don't, there are little bits of dirt at the end of the hair when you take it out. What causes that is the hairsprays you've been using and the dirt in the atmosphere. All of this will add up, and if you don't wash it out properly, if you don't brush it out properly, it's going to cause a lot of these things will cling onto your hair and cause it to break. So I hope I've been able to help you today. I hope you've taken some information from me today. Now keep watching, because there's going to be a lot more information coming your way. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned.